So in this video, what I want to do is one of my favorite things for really learning tactics that successful brands are using and finding ways that I can steal and basically apply the same things to the companies that I work with is actually finding successful companies, spying on everything they're doing, being in their funnel, so literally going to their website, getting served the retargeting ads, and learning from everything they're doing, joining the email list, breaking down the website, going through the whole customer journey to really understand all of the tactics that they're applying. And in today's video, I want to show you a brand that I've been following for quite a while, and they're doing a great job. They've actually recently reached 8 figures, and it's called Tropicfeel. They're a minimalistic travel brand selling shoes for travel, but also backpacks. And it's a very competitive market they're in, but they're doing a great job on the marketing side. And there's a lot that I've learned from looking at them. And in today's video, I want to share with you exactly the unique things that they're doing to really, operating at a high level and driving growth mainly from paid ads. Now, a quick disclaimer, Tropicfeel is not bootstrapped. They've gotten some crowdfunding. They did a Kickstarter campaign, and they've done some more crowdfunding as well. So they're not bootstrapped, so keep that in mind. But there's still a lot that we can learn from them. And I think, especially because they've raised so much money early on, they've been able to invest heavily in their marketing, getting high expertise to help them with their growth. And because of that, they've had a lot of success. So this is going to be quite an extensive video. We're going to go deep into everything they're doing, from ads to retention to CRO, to branding and all of these things. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to give you an offer for how I can literally do the same breakdown for your business or your competitor, depending on what you want. So make sure you stick around until the end of this video so I can show you how you can get a breakdown like this from me for free, but only if you stick around to the end of this video. All right, so let's get into it. So I'm going to be jumping back and forth between some slides, and also we're going to go onto the website, onto the ads, and actually break them down together. So let's get right into it. So this is Tropicfeel's 8-figure strategy and what you can steal from it. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the agenda for this video. So the first part is going to just look at the brand, get a bit of overview over who they are and what market they're in. Then we're going to go deep into their marketing strategy. So we're actually going to go look at all of their active ads and previous ads, break them down, and try to understand why they're working so well. Then we're going to do something that I really recommend you do for yourself or for any other competitors, where we break down all of their customer reviews. So we've actually found a method to break down all of their 7,200 reviews to really understand the main reasons why people are buying the products, but also the main reason some customers aren't happy with the products. And with this insight, we can go deeper into understanding actually how they can improve their marketing and the risks that are there for their brand. Because there is some bad reviews, and it's always important to look at the reviews that have some depth to it. They're just not like a 1-star review, but they actually have a bit of depth to it. Like there's something specific about the product or service that isn't exactly the best. And if you can understand that and take that into consideration of how you position your brand moving forward, you can ensure that you don't build a negative brand reputation, because that could literally kill your business. So there's some interesting stuff I found there. And I'm going to show you the strategy as well, how you can do this for yourself or any other business without going through every single review manually. There's some cool tools right now you can use with AI. Then number 4, we're going to go over the website, break down everything on the website, do a whole CRO audit of the homepage and product pages to really understand how they're structured things, what I think is great, but also what I think can be improved. And make sure you get your notes ready, because everything I talk about in this video, I want you to think how you can apply this to your own business. And also, if you're working with clients like I am, how you can apply this to your client's business and the input you can give them. So always think how this could be applicable to your business, because there's a lot that is applicable across all e-commerce businesses here. And then in the end, we're going to go over all of the improvement opportunities. So number 1, quick brand overview. So Tropicfeel positions themselves as the solution for like travel seeking minimalistic people. They have super versatile gear, and they really focused on like the simplicity of things. I'm a traveler myself, so I understand like the appeal the brand has, because when you're traveling, and you think of yourself as a bit of a minimalist, you don't want to have heavy luggage and bring multiple things when you're traveling, that's the type of people this brand are targeting. So I actually am part of their target audience, and that's why it's also interesting for me to break down this brand, because I can kind of understand the appeal on a more deeper level. So a couple of things that make this brand unique is like they're focusing on versatility of the products, they're focusing on minimalism, like keeping it clean, simple, and then they're focusing on the convenience. They're also selling backpacks, and there's a lot we're going to get into there, but these are like the main things that they're leaning into in their marketing. So they have shoes as number one. I think that's what they started selling originally. They were only like selling travel shoes, and they're really focusing on the fact that these are like quick drying shoes, right? You can actually, go in the water with them, take them to the beach, not wearing socks with them, because they dry so quickly. And this is actually a big reason why they're successful, because there's not a lot of shoes that are focusing on this specific use case. So this was the main revenue driver, I think, early on, but they've actually got more into selling backpacks. And when I look at their marketing right now, they're very, very focused on backpacks. So I think they're seeing more and more success with the backpacks. And both of these products are like complementary, right? Somebody that looking for a backpack might also be looking for travel shoes and vice versa. So it's really good extension to add on backpacks to their brand. So let's get into their marketing strategy. So the target audience is very specifically minimalist travelers, experience seekers, people who want to go out there, travel, go to tropical places, live life to the fullest, and also conscious consumers, which is something they're tapping into, sustainability, quality, and like brand values, which I think is great. Now, let's actually go over and look at the performance side of things, because I've been getting served a lot of their ads, and I take a lot of inspiration from them because there's a lot that I think we can learn from how they're doing their paid ads. So when I started breaking down their ads, the first thing that I did notice is like how much active ads they're actually running at the same time. When I last checked, they had about 78 active ads at the same time. And that's just on Meta. They have a bunch of active ads on Google and YouTube and other platforms as well. So when you get into their website and you start getting served their ads, you will see so many different creatives. And that is one of the core strengths of this brand. Like, I guess because they had all this funding, they're able to invest so heavily in their marketing. And they're doing both static and videos, like a lot of videos, but a lot of statics as well. And they have amazing creative diversity, and that's a key thing here. So let's go in and have a look at some of their ads. Now, as you can see here, there's both the backpacks and the shoes. And what I did notice for the shoes is that they have a lot of statics and a lot of creative ways of using statics. As you can see here, this one is replying to a comment, right? Like, what is so special about these sneakers? And then they have this answer underneath, right? And they're really leaning into like what's special about them, what's different. Because people that don't really understand that, that's going to be the key thing to communicate. And the thing, as you can see here, is that they are, you can use them in water, like they can tolerate water and they dry super quickly. As you can see again, they have another static where it's underwater. And I really like how they use these arrows and like easy short text. It's not overwhelming. It's minimalistic, simplistic, and the colors really pop out. And it's almost, and this is something I'm going to get more into a little bit later, but it's almost like this picture would probably fit perfectly in with the rest of the pictures if you had like a Pinterest board for one of their target audiences. So if you aren't familiar with Pinterest, I would advise you to actually go in and start looking at the things that your target audience probably looks at. And after a time, the algorithm will kind of like give you the type of stuff that you will likely resonate with in terms of like a visual side of things. So as you can see here, this is my Pinterest board, a lot of traveling stuff, a lot of nature, greenery, stuff like that. And I am part of their target audience. So as you can see, a lot of their ads actually like could probably fit perfectly into that type of vibe that you see inside Pinterest. So they keep it really minimalistic, not too salesy, but they get the benefits communicated through having this cool arrows on top of the static here, which I think looks great. And they used it again and again and again in multiple different variations of it. And the reason for that is it probably works extremely well for them. As you can see here again, showing the shoes with this text over here. It looks extremely aesthetically pleasing and something that would fit neatly into the feed of their target audience. Now also they have some good videos, as you can see here, really showing the durability and quality of the shoes and how you can use them in different settings that would resonate with a traveler. So as you can see here, out paddling, showing the shoes in a POV format. And I see that they're doing the POV format in a lot of their ads. And I think that's because it's probably working really well for them. Here again, POV format, but this one is for a backpack, showing exactly how they use the product in different settings and in a format that blends nicely in with what their target audiences are already natively consuming on social media. So this is like educational style, story-based, like showing somebody traveling, which I think is great. Now, if you see when we go into the ads library, right now they have 79 active ads, a bunch of different creatives, all of them active at the same time. But the power of having creative diversity is that each creative can kind of tap into its own segment within their audience. So some people are going to be more interested in the shoes, but other people are going to be more interested in the backpack. And they also have a lot of different models of the shoes and a lot of different backpack models, different sizes. So they can tap into different type of travels that people are doing and also different styles that people are having, right? Some shoes are more tailored towards like adventure in the mountains, hiking and those things, while other shoes are more for like a sailing trip, beach vibes, city walks, things like this. And which of these models are relevant to you depends on what type of travel you're going to do. So by having all of these ads active at the same time, the algorithm can figure out which ad they should serve to what type of person. And the algorithm has so much data, so it will be able to tap into all of these different segments within the audience. And this is the power of having creative diversity. And that's why in many cases you shouldn't just have like a winning ad and try to optimize everything towards getting a couple winners. Because at the end of the day, your overall performance can be improved once you have multiple active ads at the same time. And that is why, generally speaking, right now, we usually, for our clients, we have a lot of active ads at the same time. Now, we only turn off the losers, but the losers, naturally, by the way we structure in the ad account, they will not get spent anyway. So we turn them off after a while. But what we actually strive for is finding a bunch of different winners that we can all have active in the ad account at the same time. And we want to understand the format that's winning as well, so that we can use that format for different type of products, if that is a product that we want to lead with in the marketing. So the great thing about Tropicfeel is that some people might buy the shoes first and then they come in and then they actually get upsell into the backpack, or later on when they have a more trust with the brand, they will actually come back and buy a backpack. And the other way around as well. Somebody might come in because they need the backpack, but then they also get super interested in the shoes. Maybe not right away, but because these two type of products go so well together and they're so tailored towards minimalism and traveling and convenience, it's very likely a big percentage of them will get sold from one product to the other. So they can lead with both products in their marketing. So as we can see, they have tons of creative diversity on the meta ad side of things. But if we go in and look at their Google ads as well, you can see that they have a bunch of active ads on Google as well. And actually, interestingly, a lot of the creatives are different from what they have active on Meta. Now, I do wonder if they're mostly focusing on retargeting with Google ads, and I think that might be the case, because when I came into their funnel, most of these ads are just getting served as retargeting ads, based on what I've seen on the website. So I think what they're doing here is kind of having a bunch of different ads per SKU, and then they're retargeting based on what people have looked at on the website. So if somebody went into a specific shoe, then it will get served a video of that shoe on YouTube Shorts or on YouTube in general, or anywhere else on blogs or whatever, based on like Google's available placement for retargeting. So as you can see, so many active ads right here. But of course, I'm just guessing here, but I do think they're doing most top of funnel on Meta and a lot of retargeting with YouTube ads and Google ads. Now, another thing to take note of is the extensive creator partnerships that they're having. So if you go into ads library, you can see that a lot of the ads they're running is like in collaboration with creators. So as you can see, this is a partnership ad between this creator and Tropicfeel. And it's very likely this is performing extremely well for them because they're doing it so much. So as you can see here, it's more like authentic. I'm sure the creator here actually made the ad themselves, but but then they actually just ran it as a partnership ad. And then they're paying the creator for the video and the project. But I think probably Tropicfeel just controls how much spend is being pushed towards the creative. And they're doing this with a lot of different creators. So I do assume it's working pretty well for them. As we can see here, another one, right? So what you can do is actually find smaller creators, and that's exactly what they've done. Like if we go in here and we look at this guy, Jack, we can go to his page. You see that it's not like a massive influencer or anything. He has like 90K followers, right? So not anything major, but they also work with even smaller creators. If you go in and look at this one as well, and we go through her actual page, so we open up the ad and click on her page, you can see that it's actually a really small creator. She only has like 4,000 followers. So they're also utilizing smaller creators, which is a lot cheaper, but it could also get them better results, especially if their target audience resonates with the person in the video. And again, this can play into the whole aspect of creative diversity, where this specific ad might only be tailored towards a specific part of the audience they're targeting, right? Younger women. And actually what we can do here, which is pretty cool, we can go and break this down, and we can actually look at where the reach is going, which is also where the money is going on this ad. So if we look here, okay, it hasn't been active for that long, but what we can see is the reach. Oh. So you can see that most is going through female, Spain, right? It's probably because she's Spanish. I don't know for sure. I think probably she's Spanish. And yeah, most of it is going in Spain, right? So they can tap into Spain with this creator in Spain. So if you have a product that right now you're targeting worldwide, what if you went to a smaller creator within the country that you see good results with already, or you know that there's a big portion of your target audience are in that country? Find a small creator and do like a partnership ad like this with them. That could probably give you really, really good results. Now this didn't have a lot of data, but let's go and look at one of the ads that have been running for a bit longer. So if we scroll down here and find a partnership ad. So for example, this one, another partnership ad they're running with this creator right here. As you can see, only 3,400 followers, right? And if we go ahead and take a look, then we can go to reach by location, age, and gender. Click on this, so we see the top one first. On the top here, mostly actually male, Spain. Also almost as similar, we have female, Spain, Italy, Spain. So mostly in Spain, but you can also see they're tapping into Netherlands, Germany. Yeah, so really interesting to be able to look at this when you're breaking down one of your competitors, because this is all an ads library, so we all have access to this information. Now the next thing I want to tap into a little bit is what is referred to in marketing psychology as self-congruence. So this is something that I see they're really, really good at doing in their marketing. So essentially what this is that the vibe and the feeling that they have in their ads, both with the visual aesthetics, the videos and the statics and everything they're doing, is aligning with the self-image that the people have, right? They're tapping into minimalism, convenience, and not this high-end premium feel necessarily. It's more like in the middle. It's not super cheap, it's not super expensive, it's more minimalistic, convenient. Now they do this with these diverse creators that they're using, but also like the vibe in their statics and their videos by themselves. So again, going back to the Pinterest board example, if you open up one Pinterest board for your target audience and we look at like these type of Pinterest posts and we take them next to the ads, there's a pretty good visual aesthetic match between the two. Like they appeal to the same vibe, the same feeling. And that creates this alignment between how these people in the target audience see themselves, right? And the way they're marketing their products. So when you align like your audience's identity with your ads, your marketing, the people you have in your marketing, the visual aesthetic and everything, that's when you can start selling through just connecting your product to an existing identity that your target audience has. And they're also doing this by using these creators, right? Now, another thing Tropicfeel is really good at doing is what we call aspirational mirroring, right? They don't just sell products, they they actually reflect back the lifestyle that their target audience aspires to have, right? So in the marketing, you see people traveling, you see people going to beautiful locations, and the product is there helping them with these experiences. Now, this type of lifestyle is exactly the lifestyle that Tropicfeel's target audience is aspiring to live like. So you can kind of think of it like the guru guy selling his courses by driving around in Lamborghinis and, you know, living in cool houses, penthouses, those things, and showing that on Instagram, right? It doesn't have anything to do with the courses. The courses is a separate thing. But this connection between the course and the lifestyle is created in the way that guru does his marketing. And it's kind of the same concept here. It's just done with a whole different industry, where it's an actual product being sold through aspirational mirroring by just showing travel lifestyle and connecting the product, the shoes and the backpacks, to this lifestyle. And that's actually a really, really effective way. That's why all of these gurus you see online are kind of doing that. Now, again, going back to the creator partnerships, that also ties into these two things. So I would really try to do this for your brand if you can. Just look for smaller creators and set up these partnership ads. It's very simple. I can make a whole separate video on how to set these up in another video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But essentially, what you want to do, go out there, find some small creators, make sure that they align with your brand, and start testing these things out. Now, I also want to go ahead and break down one of their probably highest performing ads in their ad account. Now, I can't say this for sure, but what I do see is that they've run this ad for a while, and they've also made iterations of this ad. So they use the same core creative and created like variations of it. And that to me is usually an indicator that this ad for the brand did pretty well. So it's this ad on the right side here. And the main reason I want to show you this ad is just to show you how much it does not look like an ad. So let's go ahead and break it down. So first, let me just show you the video. Okay, so it's a 12-second video. And in the first frame here, like, this looks like something you could easily just consume on social media organically. There is no indication that this is an ad, because it just looks like something your friend could post on social media. Like, it doesn't look corporate, it doesn't look flashy or like super aesthetically pleasing, but it's still in the POV format, which they use again and again and again, so I'm sure it works really well for them. They're able to show an exact scenario that would be super beneficial for a traveler. And I even like feel this out of myself, because like it looks extremely convenient to have like this expandable packing system. It's extremely convenient, right? But they're not like telling you this is very convenient. They're just showing, and you just do your own analysis. And this is the thing here. This ad doesn't sell the whole product. They're not like forcing information down your throat. They're just showing the product and showing the benefit in a very like authentic and native format. And then what you're going to do next is go in and click and learn more about the product. So they're selling the click here, not the product. And they get all the information they need to actually go ahead and buy this product on the website. So you don't need to add all of that information on the ad itself. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the iteration they made of this ad. So this one probably performed really well for them. And then they launched this one here, right? So they have the question on the top, how long does it take to unpack? And then they have a timer underneath. Now, what is great about doing it this way is this definitely increases viewer retention, right? Reason for that is you want to know how long it takes to unpack. So it's a question that is stated in the first frame, and the only way that you can satisfy that curiosity that was created with this question on the top here is by watching the video to the end. That's the only way you can know how long it took to unpack. So it's a really good idea. I'm sure it works well for them, but it's the exact same video. Right? Only takes a couple of seconds. And that's exactly, again, playing into the benefit, like pain of unpacking when you're traveling a lot, and how this product solves that. So yeah, just a quick breakdown of that ad right there. Super interesting. And again, key thing here, it doesn't look like an ad. It blends in, and they're able to make iterations of that, as you can see. Now, another ad that I got from them that was super interesting. I don't know how well it performs because I don't see it active on Meta, but I did see it was active as a retargeting ad, is this ad right here. I want to show you this because it's a really interesting way and very creative way of creating a attention-grabbing hook.
Whoa, I'm soaked. Anyways, luckily I have the water-friendly 82s from Tropicfeel, which I can get wet and they will dry in no time, thanks to its fabric and the drainage holes. Make sure to get yours now for your next tropical adventure.
Okay, so good one. Also, please take note of the fact that, like, the key moment of the hook appeared before you can skip the ad, right?
Whoa, I'm soaked.
So now you're kind of caught off guard, and now you have the chance to skip the ad, but now you're so curious about what this whole hook is about, right? Because it's super creative.
Anyways, luckily I have the water-friendly.
So yeah, just an interesting take there on how you can make a really effective hook. All right. Also, take note of their omni-channel approach. Again, they have multiple different ads active on both the Meta, but also for retargeting with YouTube ads and Google ads. So essentially what that taps into is the omni-channel approach. Like when you are starting to research their products and you get slightly curious, you will see so many of their ads so often, and that is a way of like making sure that they're putting their products in your awareness when you're in that consideration stage so that they get you to convert. So it's a really good way of doing that. And also I think they're doing a lot of retargeting on Google and YouTube because it's cheaper. If they were to force that same budget on Meta, the CPMs would probably be higher because there's so much competition within the industry that they're in. So yeah, that's probably why they're doing that. So it's a great way to actually add on platforms to expand your omni-channel presence on the bottom of funnel. But also another thing that they probably should be adding on is Pinterest ads. I'm sure a lot of the travelers, especially on the female side, are using Pinterest, but I didn't see any of their ads on Pinterest. So Tropicfeel, that could be a good idea for you to add on. So the next thing we're going to look at is the insights that we got from looking at all of the customer reviews. So there's actually a way that you can go into Trustpilot and literally download all of the business's reviews and put them in a CSV file. And then you can then upload that into ChatGPT, and you can allow it to basically go through all of them for you in a matter of seconds and give you like a breakdown of what the key things people are commenting on. Both for the happy customers, but also the not so happy customers. And then you can figure out what's the trending thing that come again and again in these both positive and negative reviews. And that's exactly what I've done here. Now, if you want to get the process for how to do this for your or any of your competitors, I've actually made a Loom video for that. You can click the link in the description and I'll send you that because that will take a bit of time to show you. I actually had to run like a pretty advanced script to actually do this, so I'm not going to include it in this video, but if you want to get the process for doing this, which could be extremely helpful if you're servicing clients or you want to do research on competitors to see like what they're failing at and what opportunities might lie there, this is a great way to do that. So some of the key insights that we did find was that the number one buying motivation is comfort and lightweight for travel. So the reviews consistently mention super comfortable, lightweight, all-day walking as key factors for their purchasing decision. This is really important to really understand what's the key reason why people are buying, right? Because that's what you want to focus on in your ads. That's like the angle you want to lead with to have the most effective ads. And sometimes I see brands really not understand what the core benefit is, because sometimes you have multiple different benefits for your product or service, but there's just a few ones that are the ones that people originally come in because of, like the core one that are driving the sales. Sure, all the other ones are probably good benefits as well, but there's usually just a few that actually convert the person and get them interested originally. So that is for the footwear. Now the core buying motivation for the backpack is practicality and versatility. So for the backpack, it's the functional pockets in the right place, expandable design, right? As we saw in the ad, they are tapping into that. That also adapts to different trip lengths, depending on how far and where people are traveling. Now, and for the shoes, is the appreciation of having them so easy to clean, the fact that they dry quickly and they're water friendly and suitable for diverse environments, right? Being able to use the same pair of shoes in different settings, going for a hike, going for dinner with some friends, like you can use the same shoes for both things, and they're easy to clean as well, right? So they don't smell horribly. And you can also use them in water and without socks as well. That's something that people did value. Now, number 3 is minimalistic and aesthetic design, right? As you can see in their marketing, they're tapping into this already pretty good. It's simple, sleek, and fits my lifestyle travel aesthetic. Now, this goes back to like the self-congruence and the aspirational mirroring aspect of their marketing, which they're doing a good job of. And this is exactly how they're tapping into that with this minimalistic and aesthetically pleasing feel with how they do their marketing. And interestingly as well, at number 4, one of the core buying motivations is the trust in the brand story. And people often really appreciate the fact that it's low impact materials, recycled materials, and essentially just the fact that this brand is tapping into sustainability because that's important for travelers, right? They are environmentally aware, they're traveling, seeing the world, so they really appreciate those things. And Tropicfeel is tapping into that really well. At number 5, you have convenience for travel lifestyle. So for the shoes is again, not needing socks, packability, quick drying. And for backpacks, it's the expandable design, airline friendly size, and also being able to use the backpack in both work settings, but also for leisure. Now, the big risk here, and this is one of the key reasons why it's so valuable to do this breakdown, is that you can kind of find some potential big risk for your brand, right? So one of the key reasons why people left negative reviews for Tropicfeel is the quality concerns, okay? So a lot of people had bad experiences with the shoes and also sometimes the backpacks, okay? That they had holes developing in them, laces and lace locks breaking after just a few days, backpacks with weak stitching and poor ergonomics, right? And then cosmetic and toiletry bags breaking on the first trip. Like, these things are extremely important to take care of for this brand if they want to survive long term, because there's actually quite a lot of negative reviews right now, and like the overall score for the brand is not that good. So for long-term sustainability for this brand, they definitely need to start doing something about this. The main feel that you get from reading these reviews is that the idea is great, but the execution feels cheap for the price, right? And for Tropicfeel, it probably doesn't make sense to come down in price. I'm sure the way they have set up the brand, probably living mostly off first order profitability, because it's not that much of a recurring business model. Sure, you can have people coming in from the shoes, buying the backpacks or the backpacks and the shoes, but you only buy the shoes a few times every couple of years, and the backpack you probably just buy once for multiple years. So they have to consistently get in new customers, which on another note, it's not the best business model, but that's just how it is, right? So they're extremely reliant on having a good brand reputation because they constantly need to convince new people to come in. And honestly, when I read these reviews, I was kind of in the phase of looking for a backpack that I could use for longer travels. But then I kind of read these reviews, and the whole feeling that I got was that, nah, it's just not as good as it looks in the marketing. And I've seen reviews talk about that as well, where they say they love the marketing, they love the idea, but the product just wasn't as good as they expected. And that's exactly what you don't want to happen. You don't want the expectation to be here, but then when you receive the product, you're below expectation. Essentially, you want to be above expectation so that you have happy customers. So this is something that they should definitely take into consideration. Now, because of the nature of the audience that Tropicfeel is targeting, it's very important that they do something about this. I think most of the people within their audience will do a lot of research before buying because there's so much alternatives out there. So if they want the target audience to choose them, they need to do something about this. And I see that they're answering reviews, which is good, but they should definitely do some updates to the products just to give awareness that they are improving the products and the quality and durability is getting better. Because if not, then long term they're not going to be able to survive probably. Now the specifics of what they should do about this is a little bit hard to give insights on. I think they should definitely lean more into quality and durability in their marketing. But that's something we're going to get back to in a bit. But the main thing I wanted to show you here is how easily you can now really understand the risks for your business and also the opportunities in terms of what angles to lead with in your marketing based on what people are saying about the brand or product. Now, next thing we're going to look at is website and CRO. So this is really interesting. A lot of good things I found here. So when we go to the homepage, the first thing that I saw was great was seasonal relevance. They changed it now, so I don't have it on the screenshot. But when I went to the website and I created the script for this video today, they had some summer sale going on and everything was angled towards summer, which is great, okay? So it's relevant stuff. Now they changed it to backpack focus, which is interesting as well. The next thing is clear call to action. You see the first thing when you launch here, it's simplistic, it's sleek, and it's right to the shop now button for the backpacks. And they also have an immediate incentive. You don't see it on the screenshot here, but within the first few seconds of landing on the website, you get an incentive to get a 10% discount on your first order if you sign up to their email list. Now, actually, one interesting thing now that I found yesterday is that they're now focusing more on backpacks than shoes. And I do wonder if that's because they have had some negative reviews on the shoes and they're actually getting better profitability by focusing on the backpacks. Super interesting. Anyways, now for the homepage, there's quite a few things they're missing that they can make a lot better. So the first thing we're going to look at is the social proof and credibility that they have on the homepage. Now, if we go in here and you scroll down, I know that they have had some media coverage as a brand, but they're not utilizing that on the homepage at all. They should definitely do it because like there's no credibility added on here. And if I don't know about Tropicfeel as a brand, I didn't know their story, then I don't really know like how credible they are, how much I can trust their marketing, right? I'm going to show you an example now of a brand that's doing that really well in the same industry. So if you look at DB Journey, previously referred to as douchebags, they're also a backpack brand. So if you scroll down here on the first homepage, you can see that they have all of these quotes from their mentions in media, right? So for Forbes, should be coming up here, yeah. But like it's super simple, really, really good one sentence review from these credible brands. Now, Tropicfeel could do the same thing, and I don't know why they're not doing it. If we go to press and media, you can see that they have had some good coverage, right? And they also have this good quote here from National Geographic and Forbes and these other ones as well. I think they should definitely do exactly the same thing as DB Journey is doing, right? Have it on the homepage, build that credibility, and use that to the best of your ability. Use it as much as you possibly can, okay? So that's the number one thing. Now the next thing I would also add on is more like reviews from customers or testimonials from more known people. So I know they have creators that's been doing projects for them, that they've sent products to. What they could do is easily have a testimonial from one of these travelers, right? Travel bloggers, YouTubers, whoever, and add like a little picture of them and like a testimonial quote next to them. This would build this feeling of credibility and the fact that people out there are actually using their products and they're a successful brand. Now, another thing they could add on, which is more optional, but I would definitely do it, is like when people are doing orders, they could have these notifications coming up on the left side, right? So somebody from UK just bought one of their shoes or whatever. That pop-up can come up as people are browsing the site. That gives the feel that people are shopping their products, builds social proof, and also adds a bit of like urgency, right? People are buying. And when that happens, you don't want to miss out and watch any of the things you want getting sold out or anything like that. So that's something they could definitely add on as well. Now, the next thing here is that really high up on the page, they have their best sellers. But as you can see, the best seller here is this Tropicfeel wardrobe system. Now, I don't think this is their main revenue driver. This is more like an add-on to their backpacks. So I wouldn't lead with this, right? Because I'm sure it's the best seller, but it doesn't make sense to promote this product alone. Like this product, if people buy this, it doesn't support the brand, right? Because if people use this with other backpacks, then it's not going to equate to new customers coming in. Because they want to lead with like the products that are building the brand, people out there traveling with their backpack. That's what's going to build a brand reputation and like the word of mouth. So I wouldn't lead with this product, even though it is the best seller. I would probably instead showcase a best seller that's not an add-on, right? And lead people into that. So I think this would probably be the next best seller. So I would probably lead with this one. And then underneath here, I would probably have the shoes and then have the best seller for the shoes as well. So the next thing I'm going to look into is the backpack product page strength. So let's go into Tropicfeel and let's go to their bestseller backpack. And the first thing you can see is that we immediately get to like a landing page that's tailored toward the specific model, right? So the first thing we see on the top here, and it's the same thing on mobile. I usually do these breakdowns on mobile because Probably 90% of the traffic is on mobile anyways. But for some reason, it didn't make sense to look at this on the mobile view on here because I can't click the inspect. But it's exactly the same outline. So the first thing you can see is that watch video. So for the people that learn best through watching a video, which I think is great for a product like this, they can just watch the video right here. And I think it's much easier to kind of communicate the value of a product like this through a video. So it's a great idea to have this on the top. It shows the product in different settings, gets all of the benefits and like the uniqueness of the product communicated. So for the people that just want to watch the video, they don't need to read text or scroll all the way down on the landing page. So it's a great way to do it. Now, when you're watching the video, pay attention to like how they are using aspirational mirroring, like they're showing the lifestyle that their target audience is aspiring to have while showing off the product, right? And I think that's why it's so great to do it through video here. And once we start scrolling down, we see the same product in different colors, right? So they can tailor it to the type of color the customer would like to have. And then I want you to pay attention to like how visual the explanation of the benefits is. They don't write everything in text. They're using GIFs like this to really showcase all of the different functionality of their backpack, right? Which I think is great. Instead of having a lot of text and a lot of different pictures people have to see, it's very dynamic as you scroll down. Then you also see how much the volume of the backpack increases with these add-ons and the extension of the backpack. Now the next thing you see here is that they are showing the accessories, the add-ons, that you can choose with your backpack. So once we add one here, you can see that there's a strike-through price. When we add another one, you can see that we increase the savings and increase the savings again when we have all the three added. Now one thing I would definitely change here for them is to actually give some guidance on what add-ons to choose, right? So I am sure that this one right here is like the most popular add-on to have. So I would have like a text next to it or something that indicates that this is the most popular option, right? Then I also would incentivize people to choose all of them or as many as possible of the add-ons. So I would have a little text that says, choose one, save X amount of euros, choose two add-ons, you save another amount, and then if you select all three add-ons, then you save another amount. So you save more as you have more add-ons, right? So I think this is a good incentive because I think some of the customers might think that they will start with just a backpack and then they can come back and buy the add-ons later if they feel like they need them. But we want to rely on first order profitability, right? I'm sure that that's what this business is really living off. So in that case, in order to sustain the cost of acquiring customers through paid ads, we need to have the highest possible average order value that we can have. So I would definitely add a lot more incentives and be very more clear to upsell people into choosing as many add-ons as possible. So this is a big one and definitely somewhere where they can improve a lot. So I would definitely do that. I also think there's better ways they can set up this functionality of selecting accessories. It's not that clear to me that you actually need to click on them to choose them, right? There's this green color around it. What I would do is have like a tick box next to it, so it's more clear that you need to check that off in order to add it to your order. Now the next thing they have is estimated delivery. I would definitely make that text a lot bigger if I were them. I'm sure a lot of the people shopping on Tropicfeel already have like a trip scheduled and they already booked the flights. So in order to actually get the backpack before the time they're traveling or get the shoes, they need to be certain that they will have the product delivered to them by that time. So I would be more clear on like a latest delivery by X date so that it's very clear immediately to the shopper that they will get the product before. So for some people, I'm sure they want the product really quick because they're going on a trip. So in that case, it would be a nice add-on, an upsell to be able to select express shipping and get the product even faster. So that's something that I would add on, but I would definitely make this more clear because this is very important for the customers. Now again, very, very visual landing page showing the product in different settings, how you can use it, which I think is great. Then they have a lot of lifestyle images, which is really good in a different setting. Now this is great lifetime warranty. Of course, is that something that you want to have obvious, and I like how much space they use to really showcase this. And then they have the reviews underneath here. And as you can see, for the backpack, they have a better average score than all of the other products. So I'm sure that's why they're starting to focus more on the backpacks and less on the shoes, because I'm sure they have a lot of returns with the shoes. So yeah, a good thing there. You see how long this landing page is? Like, you can continue to go down and see the product in many different settings. Then they show the Tropicfeel wardrobe system that they have, which is really important because this is what's driving a lot of their conversions. People are extremely interested in this thing. So making sure that they showcase like the details of it, all of the compartments and how big it is, how much people can fit into it. That is very important because this is one of those aspects of the product that is the key reason why people got interested in it initially. Pack up to 20% more, that's great. And then they have a video here of the product tour as well, which is good. Again, very, very visual landing page. Then you can see all of the details by clicking on these icons, which I think is a really, really good way of doing it. Super, super visual, showing every single little detail of the product. And then they're tapping into the environmental impact of the brand, which is very important for the audience that they're targeting. And then what I also really, really like here, and I would probably even have this section higher up on the page, is where you can compare backpacks. Because I think a lot of people, they will not know exactly what backpack that would suit them the best. So being able to see like the exact size, the liters, right? If they need to check it in or if it's cabin sized, that is really great, right? So depending on what you're going to do with the backpack, I can now look at different backpacks and cross compare, right? And this makes me be able to do product research on their different products without leaving this landing page. So it's a lot more clear to me. Like, I don't have to go around and look all over the website. I can just stay on this page and do the product research here, right? And I also really like how they do this, like trip length. You can see what's more suitable depending on what trip you're going on. So it's really, really helping me make the right decision if I were to buy one of their backpacks. I also really like the trip type comparison here and all of the different accessories that go with the product. And then again, the shop now button underneath. And then in the bottom, you have the you may also like section, which is great. So if I didn't want to buy this product, I can go ahead and do more research on the other products. And that's usually what people do, right? They want to check out the other products you have before they make a decision. So it's great to have this one. And then you have the bottom here. So really well built out landing page. You see how in detail and how visual it is. That is what I think makes this work so well. Now, the thing that I would improve again is like this section right here. So when I click on it, it's not really clear to me how many accessories I should have. It's a lot of questions I get when I get to this section. Like, do I need the wardrobe? Do I need the toiletry bag? Like, why should I have it? Oh, should I have 4 accessories? Like, I think you should lead me when it comes to this. As the potential customer, you should really lead me through this page. You should tell me, like, where is the biggest saving, right? I want to save the most amount of money. Which one of these make me save the most amount of money, and how much do I save, right? So let's say it's this one. I would keep like this one, like some text next to it, like that tells me exactly how much I'm saving, and also give some incentive to choose this one now. Maybe like a limited offer. You can get this one now for a summer deal where you get maybe this number, the 4th or the 5th accessory, you get it for free if you choose this one. Like, make sure you put together an offer that's incentivizing me to choose the highest value offer you have, because that's really going to increase the average order value for you as a business. And I think they could do a much, much better job here, because now it's really just adding on more friction and not really helping me with this one, right? So if you choose one, you click here. I think this is just a way better way you can actually line this out, right? Because it's not super clear on the first visit. Like, now I understand that actually this one is pre-selected. This is pre-selected with 2. Yeah, I think it's a much better way to do it without having each like box. You could just have one box and then have like a tick off section where you can choose and pick how many accessories you want to add, and then you should show exactly like which package is the most popular and most frequently bought, which is the best value. And I think you can look at how a lot of software businesses do this, where you can kind of see like most popular, best value, etc., etc. Like, there's a much better way that they can do this section. But other than that, I think it's a really well built out page. Now let's go into the footwear section. So when we go to footwear, they just have all of the products lined out here. So let's just go with one of the new ones that they have. So I like how many product images they have here, like so many different product images, which is great, showing the product from all different angles, which is key, and showing it visually and dynamically through a video as well, really, really well. Then I can just select different colors right here without leaving the page. That's great. Then you have the incentive that I could actually get it for a better price if I sign up to the newsletter. And then the sizing, true to size. They have a size guide, which is extremely important when you're selling something like shoes or clothing. And then again, they have a lot of visual aspects here, like showing it underwater early on here, which is key. Yeah, really well made. Showing all of the different things here, that's great. I also like how they say that this is not a running shoe, so that they don't end up competing with like the typical running shoes, right? They want to stand out and kind of tap into a different segment so that people don't compare this product to running shoes out there in the market. That way, just being clear on that makes them not compare on this aspect and makes the potential customer justify like why they should buy it, because this is not a running shoe, it's more made for other things. So I like how they do that. And a lot of lifestyle images here. Again, look how similar this could probably fit into a Pinterest board for one of the target audience. And then they have you may also like. And again, they have the compare sneakers section here, which I really like, with the trip type, traction, cushioning, really, really well made. And then they have the product reviews in the bottom here. Now, I think they could definitely improve it by having this media coverage section also on the product page. That goes both for backpacks and shoes. Again, same thing here. I think they should have the estimated delivery more obvious. Probably much bigger section for it, and also like latest delivery by X date should be there, so that travelers can know that they will receive the product before. And if they can't, there should be an express delivery option that costs more but allow the customer to still buy it. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the improvement opportunities for this brand. So one of the things that I did see in their marketing that I think they could definitely tap more into is focusing more on pain points. So what I mean there is like a lot of the ads are just showing off the benefits of the products, but it's not necessarily focusing on the pain that backpackers and travelers are experiencing. So what they could do is showcase more like the pain of packing, having all of these things you're trying to fit into a backpack, the pain of not getting your shoes fit into your carry-on luggage, like all of these things are pains that experienced travelers are very familiar with and resonate with. So leading with pains in the hook and then showing the solution, I think that's something they can do way more of while keeping the aesthetic and everything on brand. But I just think that would tap into the logical aspects of like, why should I buy this? Because for their target audience, they're going to be minimalistic and like very aware and conscious consumers. So if you're going to convert them, you need to tap into logic and give them another rational reason why they should convert on your product. Another thing that they can do, and I don't know if they've already done this, but they can make more engaging content, such as challenges. So they kind of did that with the video that we looked at, where they had a timer counting down, showing like how long it took to unpack. I think they can do similar format, but where they show how much you can pack in one of their backpacks, or how much they can fit in one of the backpacks and still get it as like a carry-on without having to check in the luggage and things like this. This would really tap into the benefit of the backpack, and it would also speak directly to these pain points that so many travelers do experience. Now, the next thing I think they can do is focus more on story-based ads. They do that a little bit already. Let's look at some, like this one, for example. If we open up here, this is more like a story showing somebody traveling. And I think you can do way more story-based ads that's really showing different stories of how people use the products, specific trips that creators went on, and like how they used the products on those trips, to actually show that the product ended up being super useful for these specific trips. So for example, if I see a story of somebody going to Bali and they're using the backpack for having everything they're traveling with and not needing another suitcase or anything like that, then that is something I could really resonate with easily if I know I'm also going to Bali in a bit. So I think they could do way more story-based videos like that and do that with creators. And that would also be way more engaging and easier to consume, because you don't want to consume ads, you want to consume stories, and stories are also way easier to remember. So I think that's something they should definitely tap into. So going back to the pain point marketing that they could do for the shoes, primarily focus is lifestyle and aesthetic benefits with some of the practical features mentioned, but they could also focus on like replacing the 3 pair of shoes that you're usually traveling with just 1 pair of shoes, avoiding overweight luggage fees, quick dry feature for spontaneous adventure. They can show the pain of like going to the beach and having shoes that never dry, and then doing a cross comparison with their product and like how quickly it dries. There's many creative ways you can do this. Another thing I would definitely do is like focusing more on quality and durability upgrades. If they're doing upgrades to their shoes, they should definitely mention this in their marketing, because I think probably more than Tropicfeel is aware, people always check reviews, especially for this target audience. So people are aware that previous customers haven't been happy with the shoes. So they need to at least mention this and like try to get over this by showing that they've done upgrades, and then maybe showing some quality and durability tests like over extensive periods of time, maybe a 6-month review of the shoes or like a 1-year review of the shoes or something like that, just to try and convince people that now the quality is there, so it makes sense to invest in these shoes. Now the same thing for the backpack. I think they could do more like airline friendly dimension focus, right, to avoid check-in for the people that are minimalistic and want to travel with just 1 backpack. A couple of tricks to maximize carry-on capacity, like again, I think they should do way more story-based content. They could also tap into the time and money that they save when traveling when using this backpack. And also I think they should compare their backpack to other backpacks on the market, because it's such a competitive market. So I think it's really key that they start to compare and show how they're better than other backpacks out there. So that's a couple of recommendations I have for this brand. Again, the quality perception strategy, I think they should definitely look into doing collaborations with people that do longer period extensive quality testing, and then posting those reviews on YouTube ads, meta ads, and just really getting the talk about the quality and durability up in a positive way to kind of get over all of these negative reviews that they've recently been getting on Trustpilot. Now, as we can see as well on the top banner on the website, they're really focusing on getting people onto their newsletter. And they have an incentive of a 10% off discount on the first order. Now, I do think there's a couple of things they probably can do to increase their margin on the first order and still get more people onto their newsletter. So what we actually seen when we run some tests for our clients is that the 10% off sometimes isn't that effective. So what we've seen sometimes is actually more effective is having an exclusive giveaway or something, and people that join the newsletter are automatically joining that giveaway. So what I think for Tropicfeel they could do, instead of having the 10% off, they could have people joining the newsletter could automatically be entering the giveaway for a trip, right? Because everybody here is very interested in traveling. So you can join the newsletter, and then you are automatically eligible to be part of the giveaway for a free trip. So the next one could be like a free trip to, let's say, a tropical country somewhere, maybe the Maldives or wherever. But this probably won't cost as much, depending on how much volume they're getting, as sacrificing 10% on the first order. So they could keep that margin, but still get way more people onto the newsletter. And I think that would be a great way to get people on there. Because I think leading with the 10% off, it's just everybody's doing it, so it's not super effective. Alternatively, what you could do, and of course this is kind of an incentive to get people to make that first order, so you can also keep the 10% off but add on this giveaway for a trip somewhere, and that would get a lot more people to join, and I'm sure the sign-up rate for this pop-up would skyrocket if they added this. A couple more website improvements that I think they can do. I think they should tap more into bundles, right? They have a lot of products that go well together. So what they could have is like they can make another bundle every month and then promote that bundle as like the offer for that month. And I don't think they need to add a discount, but what we've seen work extremely well is having bundles where something you get for free. So let's say with a backpack, let's say you buy both backpacks and a pair of shoes and you get a free accessory or something like that. Or you can get the wardrobe system for free, which is super popular, right? I think, of course, depending on what margin they have on that accessory, giving that away for free, which is something people really want, can get more people to actually convert with a higher average order value. So I would definitely test out bundles and make a bundle relevant to the specific season, or make it relevant to the time to imply urgency to the bundle. And then they can just change that up every month, and it would freshen up the marketing every month, having automatically urgency there while protecting margin, even though they're giving away something for free. So I think that's something I would definitely tap into. A couple other ideas to tap into is like a traveler quiz. You can have a quiz on the website that people go through, and they tell you like where they're going or what type of traveling they're doing. And after they do like 3, 4, 5 questions, at the end you have like a recommended bundle or recommended products for them specifically, and a personal discount that they could use to save 10-15% off immediately if they purchase right away. So also I think an idea that could work extremely well for them. Another thing they should definitely add is the cart threshold gifts. So I think I've seen a lot of brands do this. When you reach a specific value in your cart and you go beyond a certain threshold, you get a free gift added to your cart. And that's an incentive to actually go ahead and complete your order. So specifically for Tropicfeel, I think they can definitely add some accessories as an add-on, or some of their cheaper, higher margin products, and just to incentivize people to go ahead and complete the checkout when they have a lot of value in their carts. So there's a lot of ways they can set this up. So let's look at some of the key takeaways that we did from this case study. So number one is balancing the aspiration marketing with the problem-solving marketing, right? I think they can do a way better job doing that. Number two is making sure they increase the quality perception. That is absolutely critical for the long-term survival of their brand. Number three is leverage social proof and credibility from these media channels, and also with the creators that they are working with, and the people within the travel world that can make good testimonials, and then placing that on the website, on the product pages, and everywhere they can. Number four is creating these bundles and increasing the average order value, as we talked about just now. You want to make sure that you get higher average order value on the first order, especially for this type of business that isn't as recurring as other businesses. You need to be profitable on the first order, so you need to have a lot of upsell and smart ways of increasing perceptions on your offers on the website on the first order, so that you actually are profitable. So as we talked about for the backpack, I think there's much more that can be done in terms of like getting people incentivized to add on more of those accessories, and also bundling in a way smarter way with urgency and scarcity to get people to convert on those. So hopefully you found this video valuable. If you like this type of format where I break down any brand, let me know. If you want to see me break down another brand, put the brand in the comment section below, and maybe I'll make it in the next video. And if you want more content like this, and you want to learn more about marketing, paid ads, and work together with me, right now I'm launching a school community where the first 20 members that join will get a free one-on-one strategy session with me, where we can go together, break down your business specifically together, and really understand the opportunities and the improvements that you need to make in order to scale your brand. And we will have weekly Q&As and calls to specific topics that the people in the community want to touch on. So if that's interesting, make sure you join now. Right now there's a lot of bonuses to join, so if you want to be part of it, now is the best time to join. Moving forward, we're probably going to increase prices, and yeah, it's not going to be possible for me to do these one-on-one breakdowns when we get to a certain size. So right now is the best chance for you to join. Also, if you found a lot of value in this video, I would highly appreciate a like and a comment, and subscribe if you want to see future videos. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.